You in charge?
All right, so the question of the day says, what is the difference between the process of weathering and the process of erosion? In order to answer that question effectively, we have to understand the difference between process and outcome. Process and outcome. As soon as you're done, I need them. You finished? Only in boxes, just in box 1 through 5. And then we use those letters right here too. Today our agenda, capture question. We're going to go over the rock cycle quiz that you took on Friday. We're going to do an ecosystem check on our bottles. We are also going to go ahead and check on our sedimentary rocks that we made. Then we're going to get started on a chemical and physical weathering. We talked about weathering on Friday. Today we're going to go ahead and break weathering down even further. Notice how I said break it down. Into the two main types of weathering. We've got chemical weathering and we've got physical weathering. So, what are we going to do? Students will model weathering of the surface of the earth. How are you going to do that? Students will explain through writing that both chemical and physical forces can break rocks into smaller pieces. So what I want to do is I want to give you 30 seconds to turn with your pair share partners, and we're going to start with just what is the difference between process and outcome. Let's just focus on difference between process and outcome. Ready, set, go. 30 seconds. Process and outcome. Okay. Good pass? Yeah. Fabulous. All right. What's the difference between process and outcome? Mike?
Process is like how it's building, how it's getting built, and then like the outcome is like what it is.
The building, the what it is. So the process gets us to the what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Somebody else? Process and outcome. What?
Kind of like math.
Kind of like math? Help me out with that.
The progress is
Process.
process is the problem, and then the answer is the outcome.
Okay, the answer is the outcome. And the process might be, are we doing division? Are we doing addition? Are we doing multiplication? I like that. So the process is what drives the outcome, maybe? What causes the outcome? So process drives the outcome. So if we're talking about cause and effect, has anybody ever heard cause and effect?
Yeah.
Okay, so cause and the effect is the outcome, and the process up here is that arrow. So when you are seeing arrows, you are talking about processes. The process is like the action. Okay, process is like the action. So when you are looking at the rock cycle and it is asking you what the process is, you certainly don't want to put down an answer of rock, right? You don't want to put anything down that says rock. We're talking about the action that's causing whatever it is that's the outcome. That's the difference. Are you done?
I have a question.
Okay.
It's on the test.
Okay. So then what I want you to do, now that we understand process and outcome, with your pair share partners, let's talk about weathering and erosion. What's the difference between that? Ready, set, go.
I got you. Snail. I got you.
Weathering and erosion. Cole, get us started. Weathering and erosion.
Erosion is moving.
Okay, so then let's just stop there. We've got erosion. Erosion is moving, and what are we moving? Somebody else other than Cole. What are we moving? Yeah, the sediments, right? Moving the broken sediments to new location. So if we're talking about erosion as a process, it's moving, right? And what's the outcome? A new location. Those sediments are going to be in a new location. That's the outcome. So then weathering. Somebody else. What's weathering? Kale, what's weathering? If erosion is the moving, what's the weathering part? What's the difference between weathering and erosion? We said erosion is moving the broken sediments to a new location. What's weathering?
Breaking them.
Right. So weathering is breaking down rock into what, Kale?
Sediments.
Right. So if we're looking at weathering as a process, breaking down is the process, and our outcome is going to be sediments. You got me? Good? So this is the difference between weathering and erosion. A lot of people think weathering and erosion are the same thing. They're not. Weathering is the breaking down, erosion is the moving. You're going to need to know that because on Thursday we're going to have a quiz. What I need you to do is I need you to please make sure that your material that you picked up on the way in is in your TOC. If you can do that now, that'll give me an opportunity to kind of head around and help my kiddos that are wrapping up their quiz. Thank you so much.
Table up.
This says material created.
Come on, man. Critical thinking. You got this. I'm doing the best thing. You're finished? 5 days. If you could please go sit down, that would be absolutely great. Thanks. Great. If anybody has their write-up that they redid, I would love to please have it.
He showed me the schedule for your guys' practice. He told me to go pick it up. Yeah, like,
Rocky.
yeah, he always tells me, oh, can you do a favor for me?
All right, my dears, the first thing we are going to do now is we are going to go ahead and go over that quiz. So I need my quizzes handed in, please, so that we can go over the quiz with my group.
Are we gonna stay in?
You already finished.
You finished it.
You already finished it.
Like, catch it on the fire.
Oh, I actually forgot that.
All right, my dears. When you hear your name, I'm going to go ahead and hand this out to you. One more thing. Is there anybody in here that wants to hand in their rewrite for me? Great. When you're done, honey, give it to me. So here's your rewrite, or your actual one if you haven't handed it in yet. Could you give that to Colin? Could you give that to Kale, please? Could you give that to Morgan? You're Morgan, thank you. Morgan, you're coming in for Liberty Time, your mom and I talked about, right?
Who?
Me? No, honey, Morgan.
Those are nice kids, man.
Thanks, man.
all the way back to Freya. Could you, there you go, Addie. All right, come on, Spence. Okay, so let's go ahead and hand this back. I need these quizzes back from you, please. Could you give that to Carly? And then this is Frey. And then could you hand this, please, to Liana? And then Addie.
No,
George, could you hand that all the way back to George? Could you hand that to Freya? Thanks, bud.
the city was making her.
Can we hand this to you? And then could you hand that over to Cole? Could you hand that back to Kale, please? And then where's... And then could you hand that back and then all the way over to Matthew? And then could you hand that back to Asher? Could you hand that back to Trevor, please? And then all the way back to Riley. Could you give that to Riley? Could you hand that back to Cullen, please? Here you go, Morgan. Could you give that to Mike? Could you hand that back to Xavier? Could you hand this all the way back to Isma? And then could you hand that back to, there you are, Lauren.
Can I come here?
Can you give that back to Finn? Could you give that to Zach? And then, actually, this is Finn's. All right, everybody except for the wonderful people that just handed theirs in. Obviously, I have not been able to grade yours as of yet. Let's go ahead and look at what we are doing here. There were 3 different versions of this quiz. So what we're going to do is just kind of like go over them so that we can learn the difference between process and raw. If you are unhappy with this, what can you do? You can definitely come entering Liberty Time. I've already rewritten another one. It is not going to be the same one. So if you just show up and you don't change your behavior and you've not done any studying, you've not looked at the notes, that might be a problem for you. We want to make sure that we are learning the system. We are changing our behavior so that we get a different outcome. Let's look at the very first number 1. Number 1, all those little broken bits, what does that represent? Those are sediments. They're not sedimentary rock. Those little tiny broken bits are sediments. If we look at number 2, what do we do to create sediments?
Break them up.
Yeah, you break them up, and that's weathering and erosion. So number 2 would be the weathering and erosion. Let's go ahead and look at where the magma is. If you want, let's look at number 5. If you want something to turn into magma, what do you have to do to it? You have to melt it. Then let's look at the arrow coming out of the magma. If you have magma and it's going into a rock, what do you have to do to that magma to make it a rock?
It's cool.
Cooling. So then let's go ahead and look at 4. 4 is the only rock left. So you're going to have to go ahead and think about process of elimination. I give you sedimentary rock. What is, if we look at number 3, that process of cooling, magma that's cooling turns into what kind of rock? Igneous rock. Magma that's cooling turns into igneous rock. So if that's igneous rock and I give you sedimentary rock, what's the only rock left?
Metamorphic.
Metamorphic rock has to be number 4. Let's look at number 6. This is a process, right? Not a rock, not an outcome. It's a process that creates a metamorphic rock. If I want to make a metamorphic rock, what do I have to do? Yeah, extreme heat and pressure. If I want a rock that's created by cooling magma, what did we say that is? That's igneous rock. What's the product, which means outcome, of weathering and erosion? Little tiny bits. Sediments. Little tiny bits. Those sediments. Now down below, you pour a mixture of sugar and water into a dish of sand, right? You've got sugar and water. You dissolve it. You pour it in. I've given you the grain, the sands of grain, and then the empty spaces or the pore spaces. The next day, water evaporated. What's left behind to hold those together in the process of cementation? Sugar. Sugar is the mineral that's going to bind those little individual pieces. Some people said that sediments were left behind. No, sediments are not left behind. The sediments are the same sand grains. It's the sugar that's in between that acts as that cement. Questions on that? If we want to retake that, please put your name and today's date on this pass, and then I will go ahead and sign it. Anybody else want to come in? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to hand this back. Can everybody else please pass all of those quizzes forward to Seth? Did you hand that back to you, Matthew? Did you hand that one to me back?
Is today the 13th?
Today's the 13th, bud.
Is it 2022?
2023, hun. Sister. Never a good thing when your sister wants you in the middle of the day. Absolutely, Spence. Bring it back,
Can
okay?
you put the date that we're gonna retake it or today's date?
Today's date is when you're retaking it, right?
Can I get a pass, please?
Could you hand that to Kale? Kale, put your name and today's date on it, please. All right, my dears, did everybody put what you picked up on the way in your TOC, your table of contents?
What's the date?
It's on the board, bud. Oh, it was on the board. It's 13th. All right, so this should go in your table of contents, please, if you have not already done that. Wait, man, I'm just going to sign it and give it back to you.
Oh, yeah.
What we're going to do today is we're going to look at changing chalk, and we're going to look kind of like another step past the rock cycle, bigger dive into weathering and erosion. But before we do that, I want you to check out your sedimentary rock. These sedimentary rocks came out great. I mean, that is some solid stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the group that you made your sedimentary rocks, and I want you to grab your sedimentary rock. I want you to take your whole binder with you, because we're going to do sedimentary rock, then we're going to do changing chalk. We're also going to look at our ecosystem bottle. So take all of your materials with you and go back to your group. Grab the rock first. You don't, I don't think I for the rock.
When was it?
I don't remember, honey. Last week sometime. Yeah, I'll bring it around. Absolutely. Put it right on my chair.
Oh, wait, then I was here Wednesday. Oh, I have this.
Great. I need you to turn it in. You and Kaylin still have it, but I haven't gotten it yet. I have it. Well, you just handed it to me. Absolutely. All right.
Oh, here.
Thanks, dear. Just go ahead and put it on my chair. So I need everybody to look. Oh, that's okay. Everybody get your rock where it was set up. Get your rock. Your rocks where you put them. Thank you.
Starburst.
I believe it was the same as the Starburst. Yes, Kaylin. All right, are we good? You got your rock? What are you noticing about it? It's hard. Break it out of the case. Be careful with your eyes. Break it out of the case. Take it out of the case.
Do you care about
Nope. Plastic. Mrs. McGrain said it's okay if you break the plastic case to get it out. No, just break the sides, dear. Break the sides off. It's okay. I said it was okay.
I snapped the rock.
That's all right.
You break it? Oh, that was like real.
No, it's okay. I said it was okay.
Yes. Still a rock.
You just broke into another, yeah.
All right. Good job. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Take the tape off the bottom and put your tape. Take the tape off the bottom and put the tape on the glass jar that you have on your table, on your glass beaker. Take the tape off the bottom and put it on your glass beaker on your table. We're going to do that later. Does everybody have the tape on your glass beaker? Now, if I have this sedimentary rock and I break it into pieces with your pair share partners, what have you made? Ready, set, go.
So are they supposed to? Not this.
Please put it on the glass.
What?
Nothing, you're fine. You did it right. Are we good? Good job. So now that I've broken into little pieces and I've made sediment, here's my question for the group. Did I really change this into something else? Turn and talk that out with your pair share partners. Ready, set, go.
It's not kind of a change.
No.
Interesting. What I want you to do now that we've had a time to examine it is throw it away. Or if you want to keep it, keep the dang thing, but throw everything away, including the plastic. I don't want sharp plastic around here. Throw the plastic away. Spencer did not get a chance to see it, so if anybody could please show Spencer, I'd greatly appreciate it. Spencer, can you go look at table 1 really quick so you can see the sedimentary rock? Trevor, before you got rid of yours, could you please show him the sedimentary rock? Now, what I need you all to do is you're going to trade spots. Now you're going to go find your original group that had your eco columns. Go find your original eco column group and grab your eco column. Find your eco column group and grab your eco columns.
And
The bottles, yep. Okay, then, but didn't we put you with somebody? We didn't put you with anybody? We didn't put you with anybody the next day? Okay, so go ahead and ecosystems. We did ecosystems. So what I'll do is I'm going to put you Great, we did ecosystems. Let's go ahead and put you with Fred. Fred, I'm putting Morgan with your group because they weren't here, okay? Great. Trevor, I'm going to put Milton in your group with you and Colin, okay? Grab your ecosystem bottle. All right, if you could please make sure that you get your ecosystem bottle worksheet. This is what it looks like. Kale, if you want to keep that phone, I don't want to see it again. Wow, you guys are not good at this. Da, 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 da. All right, I need you to please, Katie, I need you to take this and flip it over. You need to be on the back side of your ecosystem bottle. What we're going to do is we're going to take some data. So we're going to be looking at, not this first column, that was when we first put it together. Now we're on this column right here. Please put the date, give a colored and labeled sketch, and then any observations of what you've seen that has been different from the day you created it.
what day is it?
So, 13. Grab it.
Grab your bottle, please. Please grab your bottle. Please grab your bottle. Please grab your bottle, and what we're going to do is I want you to draw a picture of now what it looks, how it looks different. Morgan, you're not on the right one, hon. We need this. So this is on the back of your ecosystem bottle. It looks like this, kiddo. Do you have that? Okay, then let's go ahead and get it from here. Does anybody else need bottle ecosystems? Bugs are not supposed to be dead. So what you're doing is you're looking at what has changed. I see that there's little dots of water on the side. That's different, right? I would write that down. I see that there's lots of growth. That looks different. If you see that there's any mold or mildew, or it looks like everybody's onions have done really well. The individual little microgreens. You definitely have water on the edges. You didn't have that before. So you're writing down all of the things. Honey, where's your paper?
No, it's I was looking at this first.
Right here. Draw a picture. Draw a picture and then write down your observations down here. Like we see water clinging to the sides.
I see new
Yeah, plants have grown. I mean, that's just crazy. It looks amazing. How easy, too. So you're drawing a picture and then you're writing down observations. You're looking for bottom ecosystems, bud. And then kale, we're going to be right on the back side of it.
Yeah, this.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
All right, you've got 1 more minute and 30 seconds, and then we are going to be changing to chemical and physical weathering. Get down your final observations and your colors, and then place your bottle back in the windowsill. Place your bottle back in the windowsill after you're done with your observations. Nope. What have you seen that's different in your bottle? What did we notice that's different in the bottle? Mike, what do we notice is different in the bottle?
A lot of growth.
Lot of growth. What else did we see different?
Our bugs are disappearing.
The plants, yeah, we've got growth in the plants. Maybe some of our bugs we can't find. Did anybody locate their isopods? Yeah, alive? Great. Why can't we see the worms? They burrow. Where do they burrow in?
The brown stuff, right? Right here.
What do we call the brown stuff? Is that dirt?
Soil.
Yeah, soil. Yeah.
You.
All right. Our timer has just gone off. If you can hear me, point right at my face. At this point, what I want you to do is I want you to put the bottles back on the shelves, and I want everybody to please go to your Starburst Lab groups. Go to your Starburst Lab groups. Starburst Lab groups. Stop.
That's actually really good.
You got
each group to come down and get a card on your mark, get set, go, and fold it hamburger style. Bring it back to your station, hamburger style.
Which
One
way?
person from each group, hamburger style. One person from each group. Send somebody different from each group and get a small piece of chalk rock from me. Send somebody different from each group and get a small piece of chalk rock from me. Make sure your name is at the top of this paper. Put your name at the top of the paper. All right. I need somebody to please read the introduction to me. Thank you, Kale. Read the introduction. Everybody else, please be respectful and listen. On marks, get set, go.
We know that rocks can be changed via the life cycle, the rock cycle.
Today we are going to take a, going to
Look,
what?
to look,
Not to
look a little deeper.
Look a little deeper inside the process of that change rock. Of the change.
Good job, y'all.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do. First thing I want you to do, I want you to take that little piece of chalk rock and I want you to put it inside your folded piece of cardstock and I want you to change it. Try to change the rock. Put it in there, fold it, and then change it. Isma, that way.
No.
No, don't write on it. Put that little piece of rock in there and change it. Be very good, but it's okay if it's tearing the paper. Be careful if you're smashing it. Spencer, I need you to leave Mike alone today. All right, 3, 2, 1. Are we done? Great. Everybody stop. Hands up. Did you change it at all? Here's what I need you to do. Pick up your pencils and write down what you did. What did you do? Spencer, write down what you did or what you saw somebody do to that rock right there. That was the process. And then write the outcome right here. What did you see? What was the outcome? Don't tell me the outcome was the rock was crushed. That's what you did. You crushed the rock. What did you see?
They smushed the paper into each other.
Okay, that was your process.
You have to draw a picture.
What did you see? You can explain, you can draw a picture or you can explain it. Did you see smaller pieces of chalk? Write down what you saw. No. Write down what you saw. Mike, we wrote down what we did. Now write down what you saw. Okay. Question for you. I want everybody to please write down this question. Did we really change the rock?
You meant chalk?
The rock / chalk. The rock chalk. The chalk rock. Did we really change it? I'm going to put 20 seconds on the clock. Have a conversation with your group. Ready, set, go.
What do you mean by change?
You guys have a discussion about it. I don't want to say anything right now. I want you to have a conversation.
So bad.
I don't think
But he
let's focus this way. What did you talk about with your groups? Did we really change that rock? Ah, some people said yes, some people said no.
We did not.
Did we change the rock into something else, or did we just make it smaller?
Made it smaller.
We just made it smaller. So the answer here is no. We only made it smaller. But it's still chalk. It's still chalk. We just made smaller pieces of chalk. Caleb, if you're not writing stuff down, you're not doing your job. Good. Now we're going to really change the chalk. And I'm going to come around with some acid. And I'm going to pour some acid on this. But first, put it in the glass jar. Put your chalk in the glass jar. Put your chalk in the glass jar. And now I want you to really look and see if you can see any changes or what might be. What might include that this is changing. Have a conversation about what it is you are seeing, what it is you are hearing. Let's go ahead and listen and see what it is. Listen and see what it is that you can.
It smells terrible.
Oh, no, he stuck his nose in it. 2 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
No, but it does smell terrible.
It dissolves.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what'd you say?
It dissolves.
This is what's called acetic acid solution. It's a very strong, basically, vinegar.
Mikey, are you done?
No.
It's just vinegar.
Oh,
It's vinegar.
it's vinegar. It's not
It is acid. Vinegar's an acid. It's vinegar. All right. What did we do? Let's write down. What did we do? What did we do? What was our procedure?
Poured acid in on the chalk. In the
What are you seeing as the result? What are you seeing? Bubbles. Anybody seeing any other? Is everybody seeing bubbles? Yeah?
Yeah, but it's also dissolving into the acid.
Okay, so what does that mean?
It's breaking down.
Okay. So let's go ahead and draw a little picture of that too. I've got my little rock in here. I've got the vinegar, and then I'm going to show little bubbles kind of coming off of that. So what did we do? We poured acid onto the chalk. We have bubbles. Chalk is breaking down. So my question now down here is, did we really change, underline change, this rock? Have a conversation. You've got 20 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, go.
Hey, camera. Happy Valentine's Day.
Is it breaking down the chemical?
Spencer, put that down, bud. We'll get to that tomorrow.
That's a very good point.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Did we really change the rock? Yes. How do we know we did? What did we see to allow us to understand we changed this rock? Bubbles. We had a chemical reaction.
I got hurt in front of
Mike, what did I say?
Let me know what your folks say.
What did I say?
I didn't hear what you said.
That's okay. We did change the rock because we saw bubbles. That's a chemical reaction. We don't get out until 18. We have 5 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
4 minutes. Let's go ahead and turn this over, and let's look at the 2 ways that we can weather. You need to write these down, my dears. We need to talk about the difference between a physical change. It's where you physically touch something. Write this down, please, that I have put on the board for you on the back side. Physical change in weathering is a change without changing the matter's identity, meaning that we've only changed the size or the shape, but it's still the same thing. We just made it smaller. Trevor, you're not writing anything down. An example of a physical change would be if we boil water. When you boil water, you're changing the water from liquid H2O to a gaseous H2O, but it's still H2O. You're just making it smaller. You're just making it tiny. Chemical change is when we change, when there's a change in the identity of the matter. You change the molecular or the molecule structure. And this happens when you see bubbles, when you see a change in color, or if you have heat released. Then you know it is no longer the same stuff. You have changed it on the molecular level. Like an ice pack or a heat pack, if you crack it, you're putting those chemicals together and you're creating something different. You know a chemical change has happened, it is not the same substance anymore. So we're going to be talking about physical and chemical changes a lot. For example, if you took me and you chopped off my arm, physical or chemical change? Physical change. You take me and you put me in a vat of acid, physical or chemical change? Chemical change. Could you please take this rock mixture, dump it down the trash, not the sink, and then rinse out the glass? Just take the tape off, throw away the tape, dump your mixture into the trash, take your index card, put it in the trash, and then rinse out the glass, please, for my next class. And if anybody wants to take home your sedimentary rocks, which I think they're all thrown away.
Absolutely.
Anybody else need a pass to come in for Liberty Time?